The Rwandan economy is based on rain-fed agricultural production around small, semi-subsistence and increasingly fragmented farms. While the production of coffee and tea is well suited to the small farms and has ensured access to foreign exchange over the years, farm size continues to decrease.
You know, your average Rwandan smallholder farmer who has children and has to divide that land amongst their children, the land just gets smaller and smaller. So we need to look at how we actually increase productivity out of the land. So how do you increase the yield? If one coffee tree is producing 2 kilos, then maybe we should look at ways for it to produce 6 kilos, 8 kilos. And then that way you can start maximizing on the small piece of land that we have.
Rwanda has long relied on coffee as a cash crop. The crash of coffee prices in 1989 caused a decrease in purchasing power and domestic tensions. The economy has since strengthened, with per capita GDP estimated at $1,592 last year compared to $416 in 1994.
I think there's an increase, I should probably even say, significant increase in purchasing power in the EAC. You know, you have a lot more people with disposable income, people who can afford, and I'll talk about coffee, for example. You go to a Java house in Nairobi or Art Cafe, and there are young or even middle-aged Kenyan, non-Kenyan sitting there and drinking coffee and paying a good chunk of money. So those businesses are happening. I mean, even Rwanda, you go to Bourbon Coffee, you go to Neo Cafe. Our current populations within this EAC are starting to have purchasing power. Now, obviously that is within a particular population. In the capital cities, maybe it's very different from where we buy coffees from.
According to the Observatory of Economic Complexity, the top 5 products exported by Rwanda are niobium, tantalum, vanadium, and zirconium ore at 17%, coffee at 15%, tin ores at 15%, tea at 15%, and tungsten ore at 6.1%. The top 5 imports are refined petroleum at 5.2%, cement at 3.7%, mixed minerals or chemical fertilizers at 3.4%, packaged medicaments at 3.2%, and cars at 3.1%. Statistics from the Central Bank of Rwanda shows that the country's imports to the East African partners has increased to almost 20 billion worth of goods, that is Rwandan francs, in 2014. The question, however, still remains, how will Rwanda maintain this exponential growth?
A lot of efforts have been to remove totally the non-tariff barriers along the Northern Corridor. Even the simplification of procedures at the port of Mombasa now are discussed on a daily basis between the Kenyan government, the Rwandan government, and the Ugandan government. That's how we have been able to reduce the time it takes to ship cargo from Mombasa to Kigali only to 6 days from 22 days a year and a half ago.
Despite the positive export results, financial stability statement statistics showed that the trade deficit had widened by 3.7% as the imports rose from $239 million to $247.8 million in the same period last year. Small investors were facing challenges of lack of enough capital caused by failure by financial institutions to provide loans, hampering economic growth of the country.
We are constantly looking for opportunities in which we can even support exporters, people that are involved in coffee and tea campaigns, and other exporters in manufacturing sector and other sectors. We'll continue speaking to the export sector, we'll continue speaking to the various government agencies to see how we can continue supporting and giving the necessary financial assistance to this group, so that we can not only just increase the portfolio of the bank, but also support the efforts that the government is undertaking in increasing the level of exports and therefore improving the export to import cover.
Small enterprises, they have their own needs, which are different from the medium enterprises. There is a need of an adjustment downward by the financial institutions, but also even we would actually require even the microfinance institutions to go up and see how they can upskill their people and to better serve